I talked to him today. Sounds like we've got some good things going on. If you want to check out our meeting, here's a link. We're hosting a Locksmiths United Zoom meeting. What's going on, brother man? Good. You gonna be able to get on there? All right, cool. I'll look for you and let you in and make sure that everything's working before we let everybody else in.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Be safe.
Yes, thanks. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? All righty, very good. Rob, you there?
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good.
My goodness, you are all orange, my friend.
Hey, when you got to go to the Clark Kent's got to get dressed up every now and again, right? That's
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh boy. All right, so you got everything that you want to talk about. You got your list all ready to go.
Yep, got
We can just
kind of
freestyle.
orders, got links, and go look at a couple like the Samsara video. One of the big ones is the Samsara is a fairly expensive fleet-based multi-camera system for vehicles. But they got the panic button that instantly transmits live video when you hit that button to whoever you tell it to.
Oh, wow.
And so the other big piece of that is cameras are also a deterrent, not just a fix it after the fact. Lettering on the vehicles that clearly say this vehicle has 360 cameras. So if before even something to the extent of social media.
Yeah.
Telling people locksmiths are equipping their vehicles with 360 video security motion sensors. If you see a locksmith truck, you're on camera.
Yes, sir.
Before you rob one of them, kill them, make that as known as any other idiom you could think of. Oh, locksmiths, yeah, they got cameras on every truck. If you walk by a locksmith truck, you're on the internet.
Yes.
If that was the mindset, because we could actually try that. We could do that. You know, it's physical actions. Oh, if somebody comes up to my truck, I'll shoot him. How many of the people that died last year were armed and didn't get a chance, you know, or were very, accurate marksmen, but were taken by surprise? So
I don't care who you are
doing it in the first place.
I don't care who you are. If you anybody knows that if you've ever been in that situation, there's no guarantee just because you have a firearm. And I speak from somebody who does carry. There's no way that you would be able to do all the that's not a guarantee that you win. They might have a gun too. They might have 2 or 3 people with firearms. They may out firepower you. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about. And if they are well organized and planned and lead you to a trap, your odds are not very good.
Yep.
At all. So I'll just do a little quick screen share here. And then let's see here. So can you see what we've got going on here? This is this is what you wanted, right? You want people to see this.
Yep.
Okay.
And plus we can send it out too to anybody that and post it up and stuff for them, you know.
Yes. Let's see. I'm gonna give Lock Caddy some love today. I'm framing.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
Especially because you can get them kind of customized. If you're some big university cat that does the same thing over and over and you've been dreaming of that thing, that's huge.
Oh man, I glue them down in all of my trucks, just like they hold all my little shims and just all the little crap that I don't have time for, you know?
Yep. That is
all right. I'm gonna start letting people in if you're cool with that.
Yep.
I'm gonna stop the share.
Let me give a shot. That's if you want, I could share because I'm actually going to be interacting.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. So, if you want to share, go ahead.
Yep.
I'm gonna start letting people in now.
Just want to test. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Bill Mandelbaum's going to be there. Oh boy. All right. Here we go. We are live.
Yo.
We already got 10 people. Beautiful. Man, if we got any, I always look for the gift in things. And if COVID gave us anything, boy, we sure did get organized, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this, all this virtual stuff. I mean, it really forced a lot of people that normally wouldn't, they were afraid of computers to do this now. So I think it's great. All right. Welcome everybody. It is almost 5 o'clock. Rob's going to keep playing around with his side of things over there for a minute, and we'll continue to chat until 5 o'clock, and then we'll get started. Mark Dawson's going to be here. I'm going to throw this link up on ClearStar too.
Brother Wayne, enable your screen share for me and see if I can pull it up real quick just to make sure I can.
Multiple, one participant at a time.
There you go.
Can you share now?
Nope, not yet. I think it was because you might have been sharing.
My share is off.
I got you. Host disabled participant. I think you have to enable participant screen share. I think you got it set at one at a time, but you also have to allow it, It's just in the right drop down.
Can you do it now?
The word screen, share screen. It's almost like a little down caret arrow.
Wait a minute.
There
okay, so
you got it. You got it. You got it.
Okay, good. There you go.
Very nice.
I had to disable that before because we had some unfriendly. Yeah, we had some unfriendlies hack into our deal, but cool. Right on. All right, we got about 2 minutes, and then I usually like to, do a little introduction, do a little chit chat for 5 minutes, let the stragglers get in, and then get started. We can, just so you know, we can see all of your tabs that are open on the bottom and
perfectly fine. Yep.
Too. Okay. So how have you been?
Pretty good. We do so many of these things that I have no even thought of privacy anymore.
I know. Yep. I'm in my email and my Gmail and my YouTube and Facebook, and then freaking private messages pop up, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Other stuff with this, I've met more people's kids and spouses because of Zoom than I probably would have, and I think that's great. And their pets, I don't have Lucy in here because sometimes she'll come in and just stand in front of the camera and look at you.
Oh yeah. That's the star. That's the star, buddy. So how was Vegas for you guys?
Was very good. That was we go to that particular casino hotel all the time for motor club shows for a long time, and it's actually one of our favorite places because everything's in one place. It's very convenient. You don't have to leave.
Right.
It's close to it's close enough to the strip that you can get to all that stuff, but not be surrounded by it, you know?
The South Point.
South Point.
Yeah. See, I like it. I like it out there because it's cheap. I mean, you eat there all week long. It's what, like 10, 15 bucks for breakfast until Friday, Saturday. And like you said, it's an Uber. If you want to hit the strip, you don't have to. If you just want a cheap trip, you can go down there. You can stay there for a week, and $500 will last you.
So the other things with it is I love bowling. They have that full bowling alley up there. And then if they have an event where they do have the horses, how cool is that? You get to go see a rodeo, see horses and all the leather craft and everything. It's great.
Well, my wife likes to go, and she goes and watches that while I'm doing teaching or doing whatever we're doing.
Yep. That's fantastic.
It is 5 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get this party started. This is the Locksmiths United Monthly Zoom meeting, first Monday of every month, unless it's on a holiday. And it is, our special guest is going to be Rob Reynolds with Pop-A-Lock. And with that, go ahead and take it away, Rob.
Sure. Please, everybody coming out today. I try not to shove a whole bunch of my Pop-A-Lock stuff down everybody's throat, but every now and again, we all share the same problems and sometimes the same solution. So when Wayne asked me to come talk, I knew exactly what I wanted to come talk about today.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully hits a little bit of everybody.
You know, when I saw what you have to offer today, I just knew that this needs to get out there to the people. It really, really does. This is really important. This is life safety, really. And it's not the way that you would think life safety. It's not an ADA compliant life safety. This is your life safety.
Yeah, your family. That's right.
Yeah.
So quick bit about me is I work for System Forward America. System Forward America is the franchisor of the Pop-A-Lock system. That's the folks that started it. I was the 22nd employee at the second corporate location. So I didn't start Pop-A-Lock. A lot of people, you hear that. I started locksmithing at Pop-A-Lock. That's the difference between the two. I've been with them since 2000 as a W-2 employee. Prior to that, I owned my own locksmith shop. And I had two of my guys left my employ to go work for Pop-A-Lock. And when I asked them, both great guys, said, "Why'd you leave?" Said, "I know you're making more money with me," because I knew my general call vibe and things. I said, "Rob, Pop-A-Lock got something that we don't think you'll ever have." And I said, "What is that?" They said, "A schedule," right? It's all calls all the time. Hey, shoot to the shop. We're busy, right? And because back then we were just 24/7 all the time, whoever signed on with us, unless it was their anniversary or something. My wedding ring has 5 little sections on it. The reason is because in the first 3 years that I had my own business, I had 5 days that I didn't write an invoice. Right? To us, that's what we treated as a day off. If you had to leave a movie theater to go help somebody, but it didn't result in an invoice, then that didn't count. So we were 5 and 3 years. My wife thought of that and got that for me. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
So as a result of that, I've got to watch this company grow up. And right now we've got over 2,000 people in some part of North America that do work for us. And every night before I lay my head down, I don't care, in case anybody's ever met me, my least priorities are money and all the things that someone would think someone who's corporately inclined would be thinking about. For me, is did everybody make it home?
Yes.
Were there any accidents?
Yes.
Was there anything that we could have done to help prevent that happened that day? So that's one of the main topics I want to talk to you about is locksmith safety and security. So over the past 12 months, we have had multiple locksmiths that have been physically robbed. They've robbed their trucks and even murdered in cold blood, right? Flat out. Single biggest takeaway today. If you don't take anything else away, it's a very simple trick. But if you talk to some folks, we do it on a scale, but there's no reason that an individual locksmith couldn't do this on scale either. Yes. When someone calls your business phone number and they hear the phone ringing, that's not particularly useful time of day if they're just hearing ringing. Most phone systems can replace the ringing sound with a message, not just a little intro and then something else, the literal ringtone. If you ask people during that ringtone for anything extra that you want them to do, a simple example of that would be, "Hey, you called us, please message me what you need," because you don't want to have to pick up the phone while you're driving. It can accumulate it. For us, we've moved to a second system. If you call the Pop-A-Lock phone number, we give people an option now, and this is public information. I'm not telling you anything secret that people can do. And we offer, hey, you can stay on the line and talk to somebody, or you can press 1 to receive a text message to complete their transaction online. The goal of that is to minimize this. People either driving around, picking up their phone, looking at their phone, touching their phone. A very convenient locking charging piece for your phone, hands-free communication, voice to text, and get the customer to go fill that stuff out in some way. If you talk to them and you come to an agreement, because that's what you want to do first, and then you could follow up by sending them a link to fill out the detailed information. So you're not trying to copy it while you're driving, or even if you're a big time shop owner, you've got people that do that. Having them be able to help do customer service versus writing down addresses and phone numbers and all this stuff that I know we all experience. I watched a couple of locksmiths do this last year that weren't Pop-A-Lock guys, and they said it was basically life-changing, because if they can't get to the phone, it's telling them that automatic instructions on what you want them to do, and it could greatly affect the efficiency of your business. So if you had one takeaway, it doesn't have to go to a super fancy site where they can look up all kind of prices or anything. It doesn't have to be that. Just the basic information that you need. So what kind of threats? So that's my big takeaway up front. You do that and you get some sort of e-commerce, I promise you, every month you'll start measuring how many phone calls did I get that were converted into a digital request for service that I made money on and didn't have to touch it a whole bunch.
Right.
So what type of threats? Getting called to a job explicitly to get robbed or to hurt the locksmith, a locksmith ambush. So that was the case for Peter McGrath in DeKalb. They called him out explicitly to rob him and kill him. It was a locksmith ambush. I want everybody to be super familiar with that term. And as y'all walk away from here, anything that I communicate to you that's good, I want you to be able to help prevent locksmith ambushes by educating locksmiths that you run into.
Yes.
Distracted drivers on phones, swerving into our lane, slamming into the back of us. Every time I look, because we got the E250, I look down, I look at people that are just driving like that, right? It's insane. We consider all these giant tragedies that are going on in the country and things that people are anxious about. How about 90% of people driving, looking at or watching videos in Facebook? At what point does that become just a huge disaster?
You're one notification away from getting killed. You're one notification away. Somebody gets a message or a text or a phone call at the right time or the wrong time, and that's it, man. It's game over. And these people are driving. They're other, like, it's not just vans. It's like truck drivers and people driving cars, 20, 30, 50,000 pound vehicles, for crying out loud.
And we're going to tie that back in just a minute. When I come back, y'all are going to get a kick out of this. So vehicles being robbed for equipment, parts, and even converters, right? They're running around stealing the catalytic converters off of the church vans. So a locksmith van parked at some locksmith shop is going to be a similar sort of target as those church vans, especially if you work daytime, you park. So having secure parking and stuff is great too, but we'll talk about some other solutions. Odd hours. We go into unfamiliar situations and locations. I'm sure some insurance actuary would say, oh, you run overnight calls? Here's your risk. Oh, you run overnight calls anywhere for emergency service? Your risk is here. So being able to mitigate that, even talking to someone, getting their phone number. If someone electronically requests service, there's going to be more of a connection to that person. They're leaving evidence behind, if that makes sense, that can later be capitalized on by researchers and investigators. And that's what we want to talk about a lot today, is capturing evidence. Being alone in the vehicle. Very few locksmiths are team operated vehicles. One of the greatest things at Pop-A-Lock is very often we have a locksmith and a trainee in the same vehicle. I love that. To me, that is the core principle that this whole damn company was built on, was that little mentorship that starts off that way. And I've always looked for ways that we could justify putting two people in a truck. For one to watch the other's back, it's just hard to financially do unless it's very commercial, access control, door hardware stuff, which is one of the reasons why I like interlockers and continuous hinges, stuff like that, because you generally at a safer location, you have more backup, it's more stable.
Right.
Target for random crimes, right? Because they think we have money just in the truck just to run at us. Oh, they're a business and we're moving around. similar to a Domino's. It's so horrible that Domino's drivers are killed for such small amounts of money, which is usually their tips, because everybody pays with credit card now, but criminals still will go after that. Some opportunities. So these are some fixes to those problems that I'll break out more as we go through it. Get a vehicle mounted camera and set up a multi-person notification for your home, your shop, and your vehicle. You want a recommendation, go online and look for stuff, but Blink, B-L-I-N-K, is a very inexpensive camera system that runs off of a little tiny hub. In my 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, the hub was hardwired in with a hardwired internet connection, and I had 4 of those waterproof cameras mounted around the vehicle. It's on a loop, so it never fills up. And if there's any event such as a motion sensor or a fast acceleration brake, there's all sort of ways that you can adjust those things. But it doesn't just send me. Think how stupid this is. I got all the cameras and stuff on my truck, and it's only sending me the notification. That's silly. You should set up a distribution email that can go to your shop manager, one of your trusted people, your spouse, someone else involved. So if there's something that happens, someone else can get that notification as well. Get signage on your vehicle that has some version of your company and philosophy message that there is live video on board. This vehicle is being monitored by remote security people. This van has 360 live video. Smile, you're on camera. There's tons of different ways to do that. I will probably be doing something silly with my son's truck because I don't want him to kill it. And on the back of that thing is to say, before you rob this truck or hurt the person in this vehicle, you are being recorded live on the internet. Yes. You may take my freaking son, but I'm going to get you. You may take me out, but you will come to justice. You're not going to get away with it. If nothing else, that'll be my dying shot at him, right? Do not attempt to rob hurt the vehicle. Get a GPS and a safety app for yourself and your family. There's tons of these things. What you want is something that you can shake your phone, triple click it, you hit a button, there's whatever you prefer, whatever you physically works best in your operation that can send an emergency message out. Your phone will immediately start videoing. It will start recording and live streaming that to another human being. So at least, again, if I can't fight them, I can't gun them down, I can't run away.
I muted you by accident. I was trying to mute the new people that came in. My bad. Try again.
So sorry. That it will instantly start live recording that. So I might not be able to beat you, but I'm going to make sure you serve time. Justice gets you. There might just be a flash of your face from that live stream, me trying to throw it at them. Check out panic button technology. We're going to look at the badass one before we go, but just like Life Alert, right? I've fallen and I can't get up. Hey, somebody's coming after me, to either instantly transmit that video or your audio, or to alert somebody. There's various ways that's done. Wearing a body cam that is obvious to an attacker. I don't know if anybody has ever seen I wear an apparatus around my neck that has a phone on it that lets me work hands-free, but I also video with that all the time. When I send this out, I'll send a little video about it. Things are $20 at Amazon. I can put it on my neck, take it off. But when people see me wearing the thing, and it's a camera like this, what do you instantly think? Even clever people or nefarious people would think that is. This guy's recording us. He's recording. Even if I'm not, the perception is that I am.
Yes.
And to the point that I had to make a TikTok about it. Somebody fussed at me, but I was fully in my rights because they had no intentions of privacy where they were. Ask a law enforcement officer on any dicey job. Domestic dispute in an area where you know that there's drinking or drugs, some sort of party, you've called, oh yeah, we're at this party. It may be something. It depends on your relationship with law enforcement. They may tell you that they won't help you. But if you show up and help them when they need stuff and have a good relationship with law enforcement, not just calling 911 and saying, hey, send a deputy over here to this recce with me, but to actually build that relationship over time. I've asked the same thing of tow truck friends of mine who work AAA and stuff together. They'll bring the big tow truck, put the lights on if we're working in a kind of odd environment. Park your vehicle in lighted area with the cameras monitoring avenues of approach. So not just cameras on your vehicle, but figure out from your shop, figure out from your place or any common place, go throw some more of those Blink or whatever cameras you like up there so that everything is integrated. You can put as many locations as you want in a lot of these things. Very inexpensive as well. I say the blink because I literally had them on the top of my vehicle for a year and a half and they didn't go bad. I only had to change the batteries twice. Lithium ion batteries.
Is that those flashy, those brown magnetic flashy things? Is that what
the blink cameras are? They're just, you can get magnetic base. They're just a camera that communicates, and they happen to be weatherproof.
Okay. To highlight what you're saying here too, anybody that's in this meeting right now that is resonating with Rob, I just pulled up on my phone, there's like 10 different panic button apps. So you could download this on your phone right now, and you can have that on your home screen. And it seems like it's doing just what you said, where if you get in an emergency, you hit that button. If you can get to your phone, you can do that. And I'm looking at it right now. There's a bunch of them for free. So there's no reason that you can't do it right now. And on top of that, I was actually just looking at there's a 4-way camera system. I think there's Owl that does it for the semis. And then there's another one, and it's just like, it goes to a DVR recorder, like a big, like a commercial grade DVR recorder. Yep. It's just all 12 volt. And I was very, very seriously considering looking at that. I mean, if you want to talk about,
I got a couple good ones that we'll check out, show you a little footage to get the pieces on them.
That's great.
The last one is vehicle alarms. So if you have a relationship with an alarm place that does car stereo installs, just go over there, just like it, say, look, Mac me out. I want something with a panic button on the car where it'll throw down. I want to be able to hit the panic button, make the cameras come on, transmit. Wife, if you don't want to go fool with this stuff yourself, you can certainly go do that. Samsara is like the top of the line. It's very pricey. I did not use Samsara, but I have a friend who did. Samsara has the one that has the integrated panic button for their vehicle camera system that you can literally, as soon as you hit it, it'll start transmitting everything in a 360 degree. But they're a little bit more pricey when you see the ongoing costs and things.
Right.
So I wanted to take a second to look at Peter McGrath. Peter was in DeKalb County, was killed this year. This was a straight up locksmith ambush. Edwin Boyce Molina was down in Perrine, which is close to Miami, showed up for a lock pick, was shot in the back by the customer. No argument. I've communicated with these folks. You know what I mean? We work with the GoFundMe thing and stuff and talk. They just literally person was mentally ill and just shot him when he turned around. I am not going to offer the stupid advice to say, keep your head up and look behind you. But the physical action of never letting a customer get behind you is hard for us. When we first developed the Locktech QuickSet Smart Key decoder and we were out fielding it, and I realized, I said, oh, you can use this thing very quickly and then go back to your truck and review the video. That way I'm minimizing the amount of time that my back is spent with focusing on something else and my back to a potential threat. So some things to look for in these motion sensing vehicle cameras. You want continuous loop recording. That means it's always recording. When you hit the panic button, it's going to save 30 seconds or a minute, depending on how you set it, of what had already happened. That's very important. You don't want something that doesn't start until you hit the button, because by then it's probably too late.
Right.
Multi-channel 4G capable, meaning they're ones that will pull T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint. There's certain ones that'll take your own SIM card. So as you go through these, you can find them. Cloud storage and access. Quick legal question. Do you have to give the police your dash cam if you get into an accident? If he says, give me that.
No. Search warrant.
Has to have a search warrant.
Yeah.
To take it. If you voluntarily hand it to him, then he didn't require a search, right? It can't fall under exigent search. Oh, I see you have a camera. They're going to try to get it.
They're going to try and get the footage. However, I've had them ask for it before, but
however, if it is on the cloud, they're really going to have to get a subpoena, right? Because a cop could just take it off your dash and look at it while you're unconscious on the side of the road. Right. There's nothing to prevent that. But with a cloud-based camera, it can work a little bit different. It's stored on the cloud, not something that they can just take out the SIM card and do what they will with it. I like having the option, the choice to do that, right? Push notifications. Push notification means if there's a motion, if there's an accelerometer, like somebody slamming the brakes every 2 seconds, it texts out via SMS to you. You have options to send it to your email if you prefer, or even multiple channels. Motion sensor and G-Shock. Owlcam specifically comes with that. If I slam my hood, if my son picks up the hood and he slams it, I get a little notification of that. Front and rear and expandable. They're one of the systems we're going to look at. It's not just a single unit front and rear. You get 3 units and you put them wherever you want. And they all integrate into one app. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones, but you can expand them. Cost for the unit, cost for data. My rule of thumb is it's $500 up front and then $250 a year. That is what my specific solution cost me for my vehicle. And that's unlimited video. I don't have to have another video bill. GPS tracking. All of them have some form of GPS tracking. You can see it. If you have a company policy that says, don't drive with your phone in your hand, right? Coca-Cola had the second largest lawsuit on the planet involving that. And they had a policy that was well written. Coca-Cola has good attorneys, right? Their distracted driving policy was solid. Where they got faulted and why they had to pay is because they said they did not monitor and enforce that policy. Only 2 ways to really do that is when you see somebody pulling into your shop and you see them on the phone, you go write them up. That would be monitoring and enforcing. The second way is somebody else calls in and turns them in, right? They say, oh, I saw your guy or your girl driving down the road with their phone. So this gives you another option just to pop on and turn in and go, put the phone down while you're driving. And I'm writing you up. So 2-way hands-free communication. We call it the voice of God. If I call my son on the phone and he's out running calls, what I picture is he's going to do this. He's going to reach over to grab his phone. He's going to fumble it, drop it, and kill 3 people just from me trying to call him. But if I flip the voice of God mode on one of the camera systems, we just talk back and forth. He doesn't have to even accept the call or anything. Cloud storage versus onboard storage. If you want to store a lot of data, it could get more expensive, right? You might need a Dropbox or something if you just want to store years worth of stuff for some reason. A lot of them now, you can also use it as a hotspot. So it's 4G, 5G, depending on the area and the camera, but can also turn on as a hotspot.
Let me make one note on that right there, because I have experience with that. I straight up had an attorney tell me that if you get injured or something outside of a building, they specifically wait 2 years before they'll bring that case to court, because they know that, oh, okay, somebody tripped outside and we haven't got any letters and nobody said anything, and that footage is long gone.
Yeah.
So 30 days doesn't cut it.
That's right. So advanced parking options. These are all kind of crazy things that you could do to a car. I'm just going to give you a silly one. Imagine you hit your panic button and you got it professionally installed. They got your cameras up there, but it also turns on a siren and all the lights on the vehicle start blinking and spotlights that you mounted. That's all a switch, right? That's super easy. Somebody press one button. It's just a switch on the truck. That's Wi-Fi activated. Whatever you'd like, you could do. Spray a tear gas out the side. I don't know. Shoot flames. I don't know. So give you a little bit of, but that panic button integration, if I had to go and I said, I want to do this first class, just do it right from the beginning. That's what I would do. But Owlcam, this is what I use. So they're $269 for the 5.0. You can get a 3-pack for $765, and it's $192. It was $239, but now it's $192 for unlimited video. Easiest thing I've ever done on my vehicle. It just jams into the like the base by the window, has a suction cup. You aim it, you stuff the wire along the dash, it plugs into your OBD, it's always on. If you're leaving for 3 weeks and at the airport or something like that, you might want to bring a jump pack because it will drain the battery down after so long. Yeah. This one is, to me, the entry level. It's the most solid one. It's been out the longest time. If you have a problem with it, it's because whatever service they use in your area, the internet's not strong enough. We've had that issue with them before where people had to pick something because their internet that's used with that wasn't good. This is a Linux upcam. This is the exact same unit. Doesn't it look the same? What these guys did is they contacted the same manufacturer. They came up with a different business model. So what they want is they want you to buy it cheap and then you pay them like $40 a month. So they've made a different model of it. It's kind of more like a token model, right? So if someone doesn't have the upfront. Now this is top of the line, okay? These are they're better than the old DVR systems where they have a DVR on board that if the car gets wrecked, the DVR, it may not be able to acquire the data, or somebody robs you and they steal it, they can take it off the trucks and stuff. But this one's very similar, but they all connect up, and it's all cloud-based. Alerts, I mean, you talk about, this is an outside exterior camera. You'll very often see these on tow trucks. This will be like for the PTO and the boom and around the truck, because this is gold for tow truck drivers, because they can prove they didn't do something, right? Unequivocally. So some legal considerations. If I pull up to somebody's house, I pull up in their driveway and I've got my dash cam on, and they happen to walk outside, the wife and the husband, and they get into a fight. And the husband notices that you had that dash cam, and he says, bro, I need that dash cam footage so I can go after her or something, or vice versa. This is a touchy issue because it's all defined by a weird term, reasonable expectation of privacy. If you parked your vehicle and aimed your camera intentionally to see a naked lady with your dash cam, that is a freaking crime. No doubt about it. You're invading their privacy. So you do have to be conscious of that. And it varies from state to state. I'm not an attorney. I just know it's one of those little hot button issues. So here's some things to remember. I'm not going to go through all of them on here, but these last three: police cannot legally confiscate or view your videos without a warrant. This is from recordinglaw.com. That's the source or authority. You may record audio during a police traffic stop. Unless there is evidence of a crime, law enforcement cannot take your dash cam footage without consent or force. Now, if they try to force it from you and you try to buck, you're probably going to end up with a piece of lead in you, right? So the tactic is, hey, I know my rights. I know you can't just take my camera, and I'm not giving it to you. Just be clear about it. I want to speak to my attorney. I'm not answering any questions till this is resolved, right? You don't have to be mean or anything, but if they go to take your camera, I wouldn't try to fight them for it because that's going to be the losing proposition. And I got a source for that if you have more interest. So emergency communication, standard operating procedures, communicating to your locksmiths, to your technicians, to your dispatchers, your back office people, your shop personnel, your market, whoever it is. As a locksmith, as a company, you should have a little SOP and a little training that talks about safety and security. If you have an employee that goes out and gets shot in the head by some random crackhead, and you don't have a policy in place, and that came up as an issue, right? That could be something that you're culpable of. They've never received safety training. Does our environment, if we worked at a chemical plant, I'm sure they'd be talking to us about chemicals and parts per million, parts per billion. A person coming to work for a locksmith, part of that safety communication has to be with dealing with the public and how to react to a situation. So here's my question. I show up at a lockout. I try to collect the money. The person, oh, my credit card's in the car. No problem. We're going to open the door. You get your credit card out. I don't owe you anything. Get out of here. Or I'll call my boys on you, right? If my policy, if I have it set in those technicians' head, they're not going to pay me, I got to get that service call money from them, you're an idiot. If you think $70, $100 is worth starting an altercation in the middle of probably some of the worst places I've ever been in my life, over $100, and you're going to fire me because I didn't try to do that, or you're going to try to write me up for being safe, you'll never win. When somebody reviews those things, no, most places, this is a work at will job. And if you don't provide any training or anything, how to handle a drunk customer, do you make keys for drunk people? Do you open up cars for drunk people? All these safety policies, because if you don't do that, you may never have gotten in a situation where the person's trying to stab you in the face in the first place. So a policy can protect people.
That's really good stuff button right there, man. It's and I've definitely talked about that before too. We definitely tell any of the techs and anybody, there's no dollar amount that's worth getting into an altercation for. You're a service technician to go out and perform a task. It's my job as the owner to collect the money. If they don't pay right then and there, then document as much as you can, get license plate numbers, get as much.
Try to get a credit card number from them, even if it doesn't go through.
And part of our policy is that they need to take a photo of the person's ID and their VIN number in the side of the door or the license plate to gather contact information in case they do bail on us. Yeah. But never, ever, ever would we say you need to go out there and you need make sure you bring this money home, like you know, cracking skulls. Like, no way, absolutely not. If there's any kind of problem, and I've always said this, if there's any kind of altercation or anything, walk away, be safe first, and then we'll deal with it later. That's my job. I'll come after them.
We had a very senior locksmith that had been on the road for years, showed up at the job, went out there, and oh, I'm getting my money, pal. You know, he had always been proud of that he would go ask him for the money, and I would blow it off a little too easy. So he gets the keys, goes to lock the door and put them in the car. The guy just starts slamming him in the car door. His head broke, his shoulder. You ain't putting nothing in my car, right? As soon as he went to open the door and throw the keys back in, he didn't even say he was going to do that. He literally got assaulted by the car door.
Jeez.
So, real quickly, this is a Solus Guard. This is wearable panic button technology, but this primarily works with your phone. So this isn't tied to the vehicle or anything like that. The Samsara panic button. This one is basically the one for the vehicle. This will give emergency alerts, automated video retrieval, enhanced alerts when the button is engaged. Very lightweight, very inexpensive to add to the system. It's just clever, right? It's just because you don't know, you know, you don't know who could help you at that time. The $100 and $40 a month, and this is the main Owlcam website, shop.owlcam.com. Phone panic apps, you just reviewed them. To me, is if I wanted to go spend the money and I really wanted to do this right, I didn't want to be half-ass about it, I would get the Samsara with the panic button system and their multi-camera install. If I had a tow truck, I would damn sure have that, right? Where you could see the load from both sides. You'll even see them up on poles. They'll put them on poles so that they have a stereo view of the vehicle, because sometimes the one view from the back is not enough to see what happened, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So any questions about this stuff? I got a few other things to knock out. I just wanted to make sure if I left something out on this, or if anybody's got feedback, like they got other stuff to protect people, I want to bring that to my team, you know, because I know we ain't the only ones that have ideas about this. Everybody must be concerned about it, trying to protect themselves.
Yeah, if somebody has if somebody wants to unmute their microphone or raise their hand, then I'll ask you to unmute here. Go ahead and do so. Let me know here. I don't see anybody popping up real quick.
Just want to make sure. I know I can rattle on. I just don't want to rattle on and somebody's got a burning desire.
Jose, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Jose. What do you got?
Nah, man, I just thought it was a pretty good idea and everything. I got cameras on mine, but I don't have the loop that goes all the way around like that. So that's something I should get, because it's not safe anymore.
If somebody told me, which you saw the prices, right? They're not crazy, but if somebody told me it was $5,000, I'd still have to go, got to do it. Got to do it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. Thank you, Jose. So
Mark, I see you unmuted. Go ahead.
Mr. Mark.
Yeah, for those of us who do camera work, there's quite a few cameras that can be put inside your vehicle. Some of them are not that expensive, and then you can have in-out boxes that control what they do. The municipalities and all public transportation, when the buses come back into the bus barn every night, they download the entire day's footage into the Wi-Fi system there at the bus barn. And they store that for years. Each bus, each route, each day, they've got tons and tons of servers that collect that information. And only the IT department has the ability to go in and start deleting files.
That's great. Yeah, it's a public transportation. Whatever ones the buses use probably are bulletproof, vandal. You know what I mean? That's a great lead.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So with that said, again, I'm not a greedy money kind of guy, but that knowledge does look like something that we could do within our range of service, right? That if someone said, "Hey, can you come out and outfit my HVAC vehicle with this camera system?" So that signage on your truck, and when people get it, they're like, oh, they're protecting themselves, and they sell these camera systems. There may be something to that as well. So automation and working together. I've always wanted to work with people, but a lot of times I don't have the connection, the technology, the time. And if there's one thing I cannot stand to do is to talk about money. When someone says, Rob, why do you kind of hesitate to work for national service providers and stuff? Because I dread having to have a money conversation. I'd rather all that stuff be direct deposit, smart contract. Everybody knows what the charges are. Everybody always, and the financials are automatic. Everything's just auto pay. If I have to sit down and go up to someone and go, you owe me $300. Hey, Wayne.
Computer just froze up plumb solid.
Can
you see your
I can. Yep, we're still on. See, Mark, y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all still on. Wayne, drop. Yep, we're still up.
All right,
I'll see you in there.
I got to turn my computer off. Everything froze, and I got a weird tone, and I can't even move the mouse.
That's okay. Reboot. Right. Thank you, brother. So I don't know where I originally came across it, but there's a product called JobBox that we started using almost 3 years ago. It's unique because it's a dispatch program, does credit card processing, and acts like Venmo Cash App. So I'm gonna give you real world scenarios, okay? With sharing is little, I can't share anything proprietary Pop-A-Lock stuff with you, but I can give you a general status of this stuff. I'm not a safe guy anymore. My back is fried. I don't move safes. I'll do combo changes and things of that nature, but it's not my primary fuel line. So I refer those calls out to one of the best safe technicians on the planet. One of the ways that you can exchange money with somebody is I could send them a text message with customer information and they could pay me on PayPal, right? That's simple enough to do. But it's sketchy, right? It's hard to keep track of. It doesn't fall within our accounting. And I know they just hired a number of IRS agents and opened up new positions for IRS agents specifically to tackle online transactions and things, right? PayPal and Venmo and Cash App. They're going to be looking at how those transactions are because they want their tax money, right? In this instance, I can put the call in, send it to someone. They can accept it, reject it, ignore it, whatever they like. They can process payment for that thing, and we can pay each other all in one system. I don't have to look and say, I'll give you my first example. AAA Lock and Key, when I had Cajun Safe and Lock, we all worked together. Every locksmith in Baton Rouge that were good people were all in cahoots. We shifted stuff. We would show up on big jobs together. But we had to fill out sheets of paper and show up and ask somebody for money. And I hate that. I just felt, I'm like, man, if we're working together, all this stuff should be automated. So JobBox uses smart contracts. If we're going to go out and you're the person in the field, you're on the north side, and you get 80% of the ticket, and you're going to give me 20% of the ticket minus your cost of goods sold and taxes and stuff, we can do that instantly. As soon as you process the payment, that designation has been made. We don't have to go at the end of the month and go, well, how many calls did you send me? Well, how many calls did you do? And try to match those records up. Each person is looking at one electronic record. What does this do for me? One is I don't have to drive an hour if somebody else is 10 minutes away. So if I've got a big area and somebody covers that northern area, and to be honest with you, on our side is we tend to be a call monster, right? We generate a lot of volume. We generate a lot of calls. We generate a lot of activity. And so both parties bring something to the table of significance. And when you don't make it a big pain in the butt or a big problem or another money stressor in your life, it's pretty quick. So what it does is I don't do anything for JobBox. They don't do anything for me. Independent people, me and Wayne, me and Russ, me and Mark. It's just a direct connection between, there's no national service provider. There's no other hokey stuff. It's whoever you want to work with under the terms you want to work, any way you want to do it. It just keeps perfect track of it. Makes it real easy to do. And the thing that they're going to send out, I did an interview about it. And what I refer to it as is the future of labor. Because the only way, and I know this is going to sound odd coming from me, I hope somebody appreciates the irony, but the big locksmith companies that are involved in this stuff, they're kind of just trying to pull everything to them. That's what distributors, everybody wants everything only for themselves. I'm talking about just the opposite. We've looked at this and said, that's a dumb model. We should partner with, be friends with, and be part of the locksmith community. And hopefully we've done that, but this is taking it to the next level very explicitly to kick the living shit out of other large locksmith companies by offering something to every other independent locksmith in the world, because Papa Lock's not a big company. Sam is an individual person. Mike is an individual person. Jay, they all have their own self-interest as a small business. They're not a rep of us. So we are far more aligned with the independent locksmith industry and don't think of ourselves as, oh, we're some kind of megacorp, right? That's trying to take over all the car dealers in the world. It's just not our gig, right? So not everyone wants to be an employee forever. That is a very realistic thing. Anybody who's worked in locksmithing for more than probably 10 years has seen some people come and go start their own thing. So rather than setting up with a premise that says, I know this person is far too smart, independent, they're not just going to rekey locks for me for the rest of their life. They may go out and have their own business. My concept is, let's use that as a building base instead of breaking this stuff and everything we built together gets thrown in the trash. So Trip Chat. Trip Chat is a application, and it is very helpful to visually impaired people or people who can't look at stuff while they're driving. As you're driving, it will tell you stories about the area where you're at, but they also put a Papa Lock link in there, and they did something that I thought was cool to tie to the safety security message. They have a way to take a picture and send to the National Missing Children Center if you think you saw a missing child. Like, there's always these Amber Alerts and it's push out stuff. But what would you do if you saw them? Probably call the local cops or something, but that would be big, right, to do that. But if I saw a kid in a Walmart parking lot, I said, man, that looks just like that Amber Alert kid, I can send that stuff through. I'd probably still call the cops, but it starts that that support network to go resolve that. So I liked it. And I like that it gives visually impaired people who are stuck in a car something to do besides audiobooks. It's relevant to the area they're in. Wayne knows that I always try to do a little promotion while we're at it. Pals Heroes was started. That's the folks in the background back here for the benefit of kids like that. St. Jude is not just cancer. It's a common misconception. The mission of St. Jude is to stop childhood disastrous illnesses of any kind. Last year was our lowest year because of COVID. We couldn't have all the events and stuff. But it's not a Papa Lock specific piece. AKG, American Key Supply, tons of distributors, tons of manufacturers, Keyline contribute things to that. We've been doing these online. So sweepstakes, anything that you about that. One thing is over 100% of money collected goes to St. Jude. So Pals Heroes doesn't have expenses, so to speak. In fact, we spend more on it than we actually collect. So that's a piece on it. Couple quick, almost technical tidbits. LockTech QuickSet Smart Key Decoder. If you have one of those, I appreciate that. That's something that I came up with because we were going to lose a building that put all QuickSet Smart Key electronic locks in it. And you're not doing any of the old school tricks for the Type 1 on them. And basically, the guy said, if y'all have to come and drill these things, we're going to find someone else to do this. So we got other tools to try it. They didn't work real well. And the number one thing is I'm going blind. I cannot, my vision is rapidly declining. I just can't see stuff like I used to. And the only technology that they had was not very conducive to old locksmiths, right? You got to bend over, you got to stare down this thing, your neck, it's terrible. So we rigged up an electronic version that you could actually go in and see it on your phone. I went talk to Brian and Keith at LockTech. They loved it. We worked together for about 2 years till we came up with the working models and sold them. People have been asking about the Schlage decoder. We couldn't do that because you got to buy a shit pot of stuff to even do these, right? To get them prototyped and everything. So we had to wait till they had enough of them in the field. Here's some notes about that Schlage Keyway Smart Key Decoder. Number one is it's going to work better, believe it or not, than the QuickSet decoder. for a couple simple reasons. The locks are extremely sloppy. So for example, if I cut one up or one down, it's probably still going to turn the lock. You could be off by almost a whole space. If I key it up, if I take a key and I cut the key to 33333 and I stick it in and I key it to that and I pull it out, and you go read and decode it, it may be set to 22332. Very sloppy. Y'all are going to freak out when you see this. So yes, here was the concern. Rob, that's a lot more depth than the Quickset. How hard is that going to be? It's easier because of the tolerance. So yes, there's more depths to consider, but the whole lock is much more forgiving than any of the later generations of the Quickset stuff for sure. I posted this link. I don't have my tutorial on YouTube. There's certain things I don't like to do on YouTube. So that's a private link. That is the first day we ever did training with it as a training video. So it's very deep, and it encourages people. If you have someone new that just comes to work, show them this video. It's better than any other video for teaching this thing because it's so short and they have to guess it. It's interactive while it's happening on the screen. What is this one? And it pauses for a second and then shows you so you can actually get competent at it, not just watch Johnny High Speed decode it. I wanted to say thank you to for all of the Pop-A-Lock welcoming people that welcome the Pop-A-Locks at the local and online training. That's been fantastic. When you see orange shirts in the room and you come up there and say, talk to the Pop-A-Lock guy, we used to literally get run out of place, right? People didn't know, hey, this is only for real locksmiths and crazy stuff like that. You talk about shit on somebody, they will go after you they will try to make you miserable for the rest of your life. You treat somebody like, because they're just a human. Right? They're not some cast off, secondary, horrible. But now when we go, people, oh, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? So we just appreciate it. Automotive service. So I told you earlier, we're focusing more on commercial development, but for automotive, I don't think keys are going to be here forever for those vehicles like they are today. I think that's going to change. Becoming a diagnostic and security person to work on self-driving vehicles and these things to restore drivability. I bet in my son's or my grandson's or one of y'all's grandson's future, a job will literally be to go out to some self-driving car and just reboot it. They just needed someone out there to do a hard reset and then boot everything up, all the way to battery changes, diagnostics. As my dad said, when I brought home I had a Mustang, was my first vehicle with electric windows. He goes, yeah, wait till that breaks. All of this electronic stuff that they're putting on these vehicles is going to require constant maintenance. And the threshold of who can go work on that is going to be much higher than it's ever been because of the sheer complexity of this stuff to favor particularly technologically oriented folks to go do that. I asked that question 5 years ago to the global technologist for Ford Motor Company, who was doing the keynote speaking at one of the big AAA national conventions. And he said, you're absolutely right. He said, the locksmiths that are going to be successful will continue to transition into diagnostic and repair of electronic systems, because security is just one part of all of those systems, but it's an important part. In this screencast that I got posted there, I was at Apex and I got a chance, the audience there was basically tons of the manufacturers reps who go to the NASTF meetings. It was the NASTF board, it was locksmiths, it was mechanics, it was aftermarket sales folks. And essentially what I say in that screencast is that locksmiths need to work with mechanics. Mechanics need to realize what locksmiths can do from them. And since that time, that has become one of our #1 money revenue generators in our entire business, is these relationships with mechanics. Because just to tell you, locksmith's a terrible search term, right? It's so mixed. People don't know what it means. Do you make locks? What does that mean? People call their mechanic if something is wrong with their car, virtually for any reason, whether it's a key or a transmission or anything. And those good mechanics, the right-minded mechanics that form a partnership with us, have become exactly that, a huge network of referrals and work that we get. And if I could get every mechanic on the planet to say one phrase every time someone walked up to their counter, it's this. When they hand them the key, to say, is this the only key for your car? And if they said, yep, that actually is the only key for my car. Okay, when you pick your car up, we can have our locksmith have 2 keys ready for you, but I need to get a copy of your ID and your permission now. That's it. Rinse, wash, and repeat that, because only 70% of people have more than 1 key for your car. 30% of people have one key for the car. 70% only have one. That's huge. That's Edmunds.com, and AAA thinks the number is actually slightly higher from their survey. So if you ever see me show up on this thing asking you to come do something with duplicate keys, don't think it was a mistake or it was an accident. It may have been just took 20 years for me to get it to go. And a big piece of that is those referrals from the automotive industry over to the locksmiths. Last thing I had, because it affected us personally. Last week on this call, y'all had Ron Murray with Frontline Defense Systems, who is the producers of the interlockers. I am all in on interlockers because of a bizarre thing. I think it's real security. When people go online and they fuss about, oh, this lock is so easy to pick, all that stuff is just hogwash. It's just to get people to watch their internet channel. People aren't running around picking locks. That is, it is a straw man. It's saying that this is a big problem when it actually isn't. Kicking doors, prying open doors, fishing latches, things of this nature are a big problem. They are the real problem. Putting that sort of stuff on a door versus trying to sell somebody a restricted key system if they don't really need it, because they're really looking for break-in protection versus key control, that's a much more honest approach to me. What we need, Wayne, and what I'm encouraging the frontline folks to get as much as they can is videos of break-ins. You know, there's a couple videos on their site. There's literally people with that interlocker on the door and they're trying to pry it open and they look like idiots, right? They're just doesn't work. And Wayne, the video you did with the protection for the Adams right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You talk about perfect time, because it is. I've always known it was a big security problem. Even when you were just going through the keyhole and hitting the button, just a little bent piece of wire is very effective against the Adams right like that.
It is.
So if somebody isn't selling these, if you're an automotive person, to tie the whole thing together, if you're an automotive person, but you see a door that needs a door guard on it, get one of your buddies that's more commercial oriented, a Wayne type person that can go zap those things in. And the same thing with them. If they get calls for keys that they don't mess with it. Don't just tell them to call the internet or go to hell, or it's probably gonna end up with the scammers if we don't keep it, right? If we keep it to ourselves, because in our area, almost every locksmith here that's a legitimate locksmith, we all get along. The only people who don't get along are basically crazy people, right? They don't want to come talk to anybody, anything like that, or they're a scammer. One of two categories. So being able to pass those type of calls, if you wanted the first call that you passed to a friendly locksmith to be a interlocker and continuous hinge job, they'd probably be pretty happy with you. So That's all I had, Wayne. Tried to
That's great. No, that's you brought up so many good points today that, and you guys can hear me and see me now. I'm back. Okay. I don't know what happened. My computer just locked up and crashed. So, but whatever, I'm back on now. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to even keep up with everything you had to say here. I always, anytime a new locksmith comes in to the area, the first thing I do is I want to reach out and I want to say, hey, what do you do? You know, what's your specialty? Where do you go? I take them out to lunch. You know, I want to know, who is this? Are we friend? Are we foe? Where are we right here? And I think it's so, the locksmith trade, if you went back 30 years ago, then yeah, you had guys literally like putting rags over their hands when they're shimming a lock, when they're training a new employee. How is that going to train anybody to do anything? It was so small, all of the things that we did. We didn't have an automotive guy, an electronic access guy, a safe guy, a commercial guy, a residential guy. You kind of just had to do everything. And now everything is such a specific specialty. I mean, you used to just say, well, I'm a safe and vault guy, and that was like your thing. You can even break that down into like the banking industry, for crying out loud. Like you can just be an ATM or cash machine tech in the banking world, not a vault opener. Yeah. And automotive, all of it is the same way. So I highly encourage people. My business has exploded because I've reached out to those people. Look at how many jobs John Nolan and I do together. Yep. I mean, this is a straight up competitor of mine, but he's not. He's a dear friend. And together we've gotten we've gotten so big. We complement each other's style of business. He does something that he's good at. I do what I'm good at. And together the customer gets a quality product. They get a better product with us as a team, and we don't have to be under the same umbrella to do that. So, another automotive guy moved here. And the first thing I did, I don't do automotive. I'll send you these keys, dude.
Perfect.
Here you go. And by the way, here's the past 3 mechanic shops, as to what you were saying, that keep calling me for keys that I can't help them. So here's get started. Here's the auction guys. Here's the tow guys, and that's just the way I like to work with everybody.
I got 2 alibi rounds for you. One is on JobBox. JobBox is free. When you process the credit card, that's how they make money. They're a credit card company is what they are. But
Right.
they also have to be very competitive company.
Right.
Since I started with them, they had done $30 million when I met them. We did $1 billion. Last year, they celebrated doing $1 billion.
Wow.
So that's facilitating. The second one is there's only one thing that we can't cooperate, chat, or come to terms on. And it's not due to, it wouldn't make sense. It's because it's against the law. So every NASTF meeting you go to, or official meeting where you got multiple competitors in a room, there's always someone that gets up and they talk about antitrust issues and the Sherman Antitrust Act.
Right.
What you can never do is 2 locksmiths get together at a table and say, look, I know I've been 79, 95 since the beginning of time, but we're going to 105.
Right.
If I try to collude with you or coerce, you can literally both go to jail and pay serious fines. And it's not going to be a third party that rats you out.
Yeah.
It's the one person who brings it up to the other person who says, oh, I finally got a way to get Wayne, right? He's trying to collude, and they could literally write it up, screenshots from webpage. Don't ever let yourself get caught in that.
Yeah,
A
no.
local association meeting one time, somebody was all sitting together, and one of them said, well, we need to do something about this prices. And fortunately, one of the association members, who was not an insane person, said, we can't discuss that here. This is an open meeting. Robert's Rules of Order. The secretary's here. We can't commit antitrust on the books, buddy. If you want to fuss, call after the meeting or something, right? You can fuss about prices, but colluding about prices is bad.
Well, and then, I mean, if you've ever heard me preach about pricing and how to set pricing, what do I say? I don't call other locksmiths and base my prices on them. I don't have any competition. Really, I don't. I just don't. They don't. There's nobody here that does exactly what I do. I call electricians, plumbers, HVAC, diesel mechanics, regular mechanics, and I find out what the top tier people in the industry, in the service industry, are charging. And I set my prices up there. And I play, like the locksmith bar is right here. I plank my bar right up here. Okay. So, and that's how I set my prices. And I know, I've seen it. The prices were going down, and then I set my bar really high, and I know everybody price checks me, and they want to be $5 or $10 under me. That's fine. I'll be the leader of the pack every time.
From that big takeaway, Locksmith showed me at Vegas. We had talked about it on one of our calls. Mm-hmm. And what he did is, when people call his cell phone, it automatically emails them a link that says, thank you for contacting such and such lock and key. If you'd like to complete your transaction online, click the button. When you click the button, it just goes to a Google form.
Yep.
Free. What's your name? Where you at? What kind of car you got? Big box. What can I do for you? All of a sudden you can handle that, but the person feels like they're not just calling the next locksmith. Yeah. And for everybody's benefit, we surveyed about 1,000 people that used the system, and a mix of people who used it, didn't use it. The people that used it, the number one reason that they used the online instead of calling, what do you think it was? I bet you most people know it. It's simple.
What is it?
Why people use the online interface instead of holding on the line and talk to the operator.
Oh, well, they feel like they're interacting with it.
They didn't want to talk to nobody.
They didn't want to talk to nobody.
They didn't want literally the number one stated reason in the survey was I just didn't want to talk to anybody. People said stuff like, I felt dumb. I didn't want to tell somebody I lost my key. Stuff I never thought of in my damn life until I started reading their real results. But there you go. Ringtone in a automatic text with a Google form. And there you go. You might save your own life.
Yeah, exactly. And my policy, I've been doing that for years, is it not in that streamline of a format, but I would always have hands free on, and I could answer the phone and let you know, hey, you got a real person here. I'm listening to you. but I need to switch this over to text message as quick as possible. Again, we get that paper trail. I mean, I've told stories. I've showed up to the job site and there's a tow truck, there's a police officer, there's 2 other locksmiths, and everybody's fighting over who's going to get the money here and filling out paperwork. I got my tools out and my phone that says, we said we were going to charge this price, whether we open the car or not. We charge upon dispatch. We didn't know we called you. We didn't know we were talking to you. That whole runaround. No, it's right here on the paper trail. So I'm going to charge you the $125. Do you want to go ahead and have me open the car? Fine, just open it. So the Tojo's filling his paperwork out. The officers on the radio and the other 2 locksmiths are trying to figure out what the heck they're doing. And all of a sudden, here I am opening the door, paid and gone. Why? Because I had a paper trail. So yeah, man, it's good stuff. I really like everything that you got going on, and all the things that you brought up today.
This is notes from the meeting today.
We'll go ahead, and this is recorded too, so we'll go ahead and post this up there for everybody to see. If you are in this meeting and you know a fellow locksmith or a local shop, you need to make sure you look for this post and send it out, because there's so much life safety issue stuff going on here. I just can't believe all the things that you brought up, all the points that people don't think about. I know my spidey senses tingle when I'm working on a bank or an ATM, and that's kind of why my new truck is ghost mode. I don't have any lettering or anything on it. All my other ones are rolling billboards, but since I do that kind of work, and I'm always on edge, especially working at a gas station on an ATM, dude, that is the worst. The worst.
Wait, I know we're coming up on the time. The note that I posted, that's a program called Evernote. You and I talked about Evernote. So what's cool about Evernote, if you started at, they introduce kids to it when they're about 5, 6 years old, kindergarten, 1st grade, high school, college, you can save everything you've ever seen in your entire life: video, audio, text, websites, voice to text, scan receipts. If I've ever taken a picture of your sign in front of your locksmith shop, it's searchable in that Evernote. And I'm gonna give you a quick picture of it. So it lets you set up notebooks. This is I searched for Mazda pen. Okay. It's on my own personal Google. This is 6,000 notes worth, so it's a lot of stuff on there. I could put any picture. If I want to edit this picture, like annotate this image, I misspelled Lucas or something in there, it has all the tools built in. I don't need Photoshop or anything like that. I can put it in here.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Matter of fact, a lot of what you had to say tonight would probably make a really good article for keynotes. And
they always bugging me for content and stuff. And I'll be honest with everybody, I don't write stuff. I write stuff and don't put my name on it, right? I don't want somebody to go, Papa Lock, I don't care about that. I don't want anybody to get over that, like the job offer in Canada. That's for a full-blown access control, commercial, giant locksmith job that's probably approaching 6 figures. So if anybody thinks that up there, I don't even think they open cars there in that particular location, though they are still called Papa Lock. So I don't like to throw this stuff down y'all's throat, but anything anything I could do, Wayne, I appreciate you getting all this education and love everything that you've been doing.
Well, I always tell people that the reason Papa Lock really carries a lot of weight is a lot of what you do. And that's real. People, you gain a lot of respect for Papa Lock, and it's really you and the way that you interact with people and just the overall attitude that you have really changed my mind about the whole thing. And just meeting you in person.
It's not me. I'm not in charge of nothing. I have one person that works for me. His name is Ben Payne Jr. He's worked for me for about 15 years. He's the senior trainer. Everybody else, I work for them. The lowest tech that started here yesterday could call here and go, hey, buddy, you better answer the phone. And he's right. Yeah. So that's the way it is. But I get to get all that input, and it keeps me from getting too thick-headed or set in my ways, I guess would be the way to say it.
No, that's good. That's good. There's always really, really good points. And I'm so glad that we had you on here tonight. You brought up so many things that people don't think about. You get so interactive with your job and the phone, and am I running this call right, and is the technology right, do I have the right stuff to do this job? You get so focused on the job that you just don't take time to think about, are things going on around you, and when I train my employees, we do go over, hey, there are locksmiths getting killed in California and these other states. I use California as the biggest example because that's where a lot of things are happening. But with the economy downturning, stock market going down, this is going to get more prevalent. It's only going to get worse. The worse the economy and things go down, the more that these things are going to happen, and you really need to protect yourself against it. And I've already got a feed going for my team right here with the panic buttons on the phone. I've already been eyeballing the all the way around camera systems. We have dash cams. My employee told me they had an incident the other day. So the first thing we did is go online and get a dash cam. Go get one. What is it? What, for that whole OWL system? That's what, 2 lockouts? I mean, for crying out loud, come on.
For somebody's life.
Yeah, exactly.
Or vengeance. Hey, look, if I can't prevent it, but somebody else can take vengeance for me, whether it's the cops, a prosecutor, like justice can be served. I'll at least I won't be turning to my grave so much. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
Come get me.
Exactly. And I've told my people too, it's like, hey, if you go out at night, you really, it is a real thing. People will call you out to bait you. They will really call you out just to rob your ass. And
our most common piece of information that we associated with robberies is they give a vehicle that is not real.
Wow.
I'm not joking. Like the robberies that have occurred at Popalock, it's a year, make, and model that simply doesn't exist. That's a big ass red flag. I don't have a callback number. Big ass red flag, Yeah,
and that's, again, hey, I need your information on the text message. I'll even ask people, hey, I need a picture of your photo ID. Who am I dealing with here? And I'll have them send that to me before I put my pants on and go out the door, And also, that's part of it, is I need that information to make sure that we're opening the correct car for the correct person. And after hours calls, we charge before anyways. So I've already got a credit card number. I've already got a name. I've already got a photo ID. If they're unwilling
to do any of that,
to provide any of that information, and there are exceptions, my wallet's locked in the car, we've got that one all the time. But now, I mean, the state of Colorado has all your driver's license and your license plate number on the app, so you don't even have to have your wallet and your ID. It's all right here. If you got your phone, that's it. And so I'll if they say I'm not on my phone and my wallet, everything's locked in my car, I'll say, okay, well, whoever's phone you're using, have them take a picture of you in your car and send it to me.
If I could, I see we got a lower director on here too. So I noticed that if I could, because we've been working on it too, but if I could get a lower, if they went in, it could license from a company a VIN number verification for registration. And so any automotive locksmith who's a member of LOA have put their little password, go type that VIN in. And if it says it's for Martha Dugas and it's John Smith that's calling, before I show up out there and start dealing with John Smith or whoever's going to be on scene, that would be hell of information for me to know. And I know that exists, but it's pricey and it's damn sure out of reach of an individual locksmith. We'd be paying ridiculous. If NASTF, we could convince NASTF to do that. Oh, you don't want to steal in cars? Give us a registration verification. Give us something we can use, keep us out of trouble.
And it would be that much more verification that you're opening the right car for the right person.
And it'd be another feather in the cap of a LOA or whatever organization that did it too. So I can talk all night, Wayne. I know you like
I know we could. Let's open up the mics. Let's hear Bill. Do you have anything to say? Thomas, Mark, any of you guys have anything else to add to this? We got a pop lock
here too. If I'm talking dumb shit or false stuff about what we're doing, you can call me out too. So
Thomas unmuted his mic. Go ahead, Thomas.
Rob, your energy level is unbelievable. I remember talking to you in Las Vegas. It was always a pleasure. Listening to you here is still a pleasure. It's like when you stop talking, it's like, oh man, he's gone.
And we do Sunday calls for my little locksmith group, but we don't talk about a bunch of locksmithing except talk shit about it, right? We do some tech support on the call Sundays at 4 p.m. It's a drinking event, very similar to the beer and BS on the Sunday. So I'll post that again next time, Wayne. If y'all want to jump in, I've learned more on those calls, to be honest, than I've learned at some conventions, because people will tell you just what like it is on these calls for some reason.
Well, that's like being at the convention and being at the bar. You learn more there than anything else. sometimes. Well, good. Anything else from anybody else? Bill, you got your mic unmuted?
No, nothing much.
Nothing much. All right. Anybody else? Phil, looks like you
Yeah,
unmuted.
I'm gonna chime in real quick. A lot of what you're talking about probably, I mean, we're pretty soft up here in the Great White North. I'm gonna say we don't really see the sense of urgency for that kind of protection, but I certainly see that that's where things go. I mean, let's be honest, it's not like we don't have crime and stuff happening here. And it does travel across the border and stuff. We just haven't seen it to that to that extent, and certainly nobody planning that kind of a ruse like you guys tend to see. It's kind of sad to even see that happening. I knew that there was guys that were ambushing tradesmen and stuff at different times, but I actually didn't know anyone had died and that things went sideways the way they did with the two guys. And it was in the van when it was burning.
Yeah,
Like,
they killed him, threw him in his van, and then set the van on fire.
and I guess that's after they pillaged the van too, obviously.
Yeah, there was stuff missing from the van as well.
Yeah, see that's just absolutely sickening. I hope it's a long time before we start to see that kind of stuff happen up here, but the world's going the way the world's going. It's not like we can live in a bubble.
Yeah. When we some guys were talking over on the safe forum over on NSO, and it's rough when they start talking about safe techs needing bulletproof vests to work on ATMs.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Thank you, Phil. Mark, you got your mic unmuted there?
Yeah, I just want to let Rob know if he would pencil down what his thoughts are on a VIN number verification. Aloha is always happy to look into something, but many things are cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
We're in cost saving mode just like everyone else.
Yep.
And we've got to be very careful with expenditures. But if you want to try to sketch that idea out,
even if it
we'll get
costs
a
you
couple of people
$100 a
on it.
month regular, but you can get it from Aloha for 25, even if there's member participation, not to dump the whole thing, but more coordination.
That could be something we could put.
Mark. I certainly will do that.
We could put Ed Woods on that, who's the president of our new automotive division. So we could see what happens there.
That's awesome.
Bill, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing along with this thing too. I quit doing calls after 10 o'clock. I turn my telephone off. I just do not answer it because several years ago, I asked 3 lawyer friends of mine under the Ohio Bartenders Act. Bartender serves a drunk. He goes out and kills somebody. He can be charged with it. I said, okay, if I go out and open that car and a guy's drunk, you go out and kill somebody, can I be charged? And all 3 of them said, you got a 50-50 chance of beating it. If you do beat it, it's going to be extremely expensive in court. If you don't beat it, you're going to jail.
Yep.
Neither
So
one of those sound like good odds.
Careful of.
Yeah. I actually asked my attorney about that as well. And one of the biggest things that we have for our protection is like an officer or a policeman is trained to determine the intoxication level of somebody through a series of testing. Now, we don't have that training. Therefore, it would not be possible for me to be able to determine the amount of inebriation or the intoxication from what kind of substance from another individual. But I agree that not much good happens after 10 o'clock anyways. Good stuff. Anybody else want to chime in, unmute your microphone, let us know what you think, questions, comments, concerns? All righty. If no hands are going to go up, then we'll just go ahead and call that a heck of a meeting though.
Hear me jibber jabber. I appreciate that too. That's good. I'll talk to myself if ain't nobody else here. I'll just talk to Wayne.
This is great. This is great. Now we have about 24, 28 people, and then usually we'll end up getting about 100 people or so watch the recording. Yeah. And like I said, if people find this and see this, I'll actually post the link, and I'll actually post a YouTube link so that if you're in this group and you know a fellow locksmith that you are friends with, and you think that they could benefit from this, definitely send that link to them. Why not? Why not? What I mean, it's an hour of your time, for crying out loud. And with the Zoom, you can watch it. I'll upload it as a video. I'm also keeping all the audio files so that we can build a podcast type of thing out of it. I can give it to Aloha or whoever. I mean, I don't care who gets it out there. But they can distribute that content as well, and people can listen to this in their car as they're driving, doing their jobs. So we've got big plans for all this fun stuff.
That's great.
So thank you so much. Your energy is always amazing, and you always have a kind heart, and you always want to make sure to promote some good charitable events. And Rob, really, from the bottom of his heart, he really does care about the people in the industry and the trade. And it's not just smoke. It's not just a bunch of smoke that he's blowing up anybody's butt here. He's very, very sincere. And you did a lot of research on this to protect your own guys and your own pal family. And you're choosing to share that with everybody else. Very generous of you.
Yeah, safety's not proprietary. I guarantee you that. If they want to come after me for that, they better bow up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, your energy is always so amazing. I hope I'm that energetic and still care that much when I'm your age and we get there and go that route. And thank you so much for everything that you do. And anytime you want to come on again, if you got some more stuff, we got a good platform here and we'd definitely be interested in it.
That's outstanding. Thank you, Wayne. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right. We're going to shut her down, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.